Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the show. We were just a couple of minutes late because we were trying to get the camera dialed in. It took a minute, didn't it?
Larry's new toy.
Yeah, it's the Logitech. I would show it to you, but it's behind the camera.
I've missed you guys. It's been like a month, it feels like, since I've been able to be on a show.
Can you tell about her voice? She had the flu. Still
trying to fight. But I'm getting better. I've got some laryngitis hanging around. Still not 100%, but it wasn't any fun at all. And
it wasn't, was it?
No.
I hear you. So, guys, we have a lot to cover today. First of all, if you're viewing us for the first time, if you want a free investor's kit, you can call Zenobia at 877-LARRY-GO. Tell them what they get.
At the with 877-LARRY-GO, whenever you talk to Zenobia, you'll get a free digital copy of Real Estate Day Trading. She'll send that out in the link, and then also the digital copy of HUD Homes Half Off, as well as some other links to some of our deeper trainings, Filthy Riches training webinar, an asset protection webinar, I believe, and just some other information like that. So there's a bunch of stuff included in that link. We change some stuff out all the time. So, make sure you give a call to 877-LARRY-GO, and Z can make sure to get that out to you.
Awesome. And the other thing is we've got a 3-day event coming up this weekend. If you're anywhere near the Carolinas.
Yes. So
we have 3.5 seats left. 3.5 seats left.
It is in the Charlotte area. We do have just a few seats left. We're keeping the events capped at a certain number. We've been doing that for a while now. So we are running out of seats that are available, but you can go to LarryGoinsLive.com and be sure to register for that. Or you can give the guys a call, 803-831-2858, and they can get you registered for that too.
That's
but
really
starts
cool.
on Friday. This one is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going back to that model. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
This weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina. Terry's husband wants to attend.
Terry, you better have him call the guys or go to Larry Goins Live and get one of the last seats that's open. I think we're going to take registrations until tomorrow. That way I'm able to make sure everything's set up with the hotel.
And everybody has a name tag.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
That's good. That is good. So what else are you doing? Earlier, she broke my desk.
I did. I chipped the glass off the desk.
I have these behind my desk.
When I get bored,
so you can spin
bad
them in your
things
hand,
happen.
Right? And she dropped them right on my desk.
It was right on the edge.
I know, and that's what broke it.
It was right on the edge.
It was.
It doesn't do for me to get bored. I should not get bored because then I just start looking for stuff to mess with.
Look, Terry's signing her husband up right now. He's at a closing. Yeah, baby. We've had 4 closings in the last 4 days.
For us, yeah.
Friday, we had 2 Friday and 1 or 2 yesterday, and
one yesterday.
Monday and Tuesday or something.
1 yesterday and 1 Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. We had 4 closings, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and we had 1 buy. Because we're holding on to it for a smidge.
Just a little bit.
Just enough to clean it out and go through the good stuff. That's all we're doing. It's a nice house. It is a nice house. It's just enough to go through all the stuff to see if there's any valuables there.
Well, not only that, but it's not going to show well, right? With the neighborhood that this house is in, with what we're trying to do to it to sell it, it's not going to show well in the condition it's in. So I had to get a landscaper out. I've got to get some dumpsters out, and we're going to clean it out. And then we'll be able to get more around what the neighborhood market's calling for.
There you go. We paid $65,000 for this house, and a house 2 or 3 houses up just sold for $180,000. And ours needs about what did we say, 30 or 40 in work?
35, yeah, 30 to 40. I'm saying 35, 30 to 35.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Terry's registering her husband. Terry, you need to come too.
She just came to the last one though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was.
And your husband didn't get to come to the last one. Wow.
No, it would be great to see her again too, but I mean,
I've updated a lot of stuff. Now I have over 700 PowerPoint slides. When you were there, it was
600.
Under 700.
Yeah.
It was 600 and some, right?
Yeah.
So it's content only, full of content. I'm the only trainer there, teaching and training all 3 days, right? So anyway, the next thing I want to share with you guys is 6 ways to analyze a deal. A lot of people think the only way, oh, you're going to be traveling this weekend. Oh, well, you're just going to have to get your priorities in order. Okay?
Well, he's just going to have to get the new slides. That's all it is.
There you go. So anyway, so a lot of people think there's only one way to analyze a deal, okay? One way to analyze a deal. That's ARV times 0.7 minus repairs, minus closing costs if you want to, and then minus what you want to make, and boom, there's your number.
And
right?
that's a very popular method. I mean, that's what we start with.
It is a very, very popular method. Okay?
And it works.
It does work. It does work.
However,
the second way to do that is also very, very, very similar. Okay? It's very similar. However, instead of doing 0.7 ARV, after repaired value, times 70%, you can take after repaired value times 0.75 or 80, and it's what's called wholetailing. Look, Carolyn's going to be there. Yeah, baby. That's awesome. Thanks for coming. Looking forward to it. You can take times 0.75 or 80, and that's what's called a wholetail deal. Now, a wholetail deal, it cannot be a house that needs a ton of work. It can't need $35,000 in work, right?
no.
It's got to be maybe cosmetic, right? Paint, carpet, maybe a couple of little things, but for the most part, just paint and carpet is about all it needs to have done.
Right.
Right? Because wholetailing, you want to sell a house that is financeable, okay? Now, I don't like to do financing. I don't like for buyers to have to get a loan, but you want a house that probably would qualify, okay? That would give you a good idea. Plus, it's got to be a decent house in a decent area. You're not going to wholetail a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house in a rental neighborhood.
No.
That's not it. An ideal situation would be a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a brick ranch house. We have a lot of those around here. We got 3 or 4 of them we're buying right now, right? That we would buy it and maybe sell it for, $69,900, $79,900, $89,900, something like that, right? That would be a wholesale deal, right? Like this house that Kandas just told you about needs $35,000 in work. Now we paid $65,000 for it. We could probably go in there. We could wholesale it for $99,900. Somebody put $35,000 in it. They'll have $135,000 in it, and it's worth about $190,000, maybe $200,000, depending on how nice you fix it. It's got a pool, corner lot, 2 double garages,
Right.
and all that stuff. So, but we could probably wholesale that for $129,900, $119,900, maybe even $139,000 once we get it all cleaned out, right? So that would be a wholesale deal, right? The next way I want to share with you is the third way to analyze a deal is as a rental property, okay? If it's got a tenant in it or it's a tenant type property, a rental type property, an ideal type property would be a house built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet, rented out for $400, $500, $600 per month in our area, okay? So you can sell these based on the income. In fact, that's what I tell my sellers as well. I say, look, the value of your property, I don't care what the tax value is. I don't care what anybody told you it's worth. If it's got a tenant in there and they're paying, it's worth. And I use this depending on who I'm talking to and the quality of house. But it'll be worth somewhere where rents are 1.5% to 2% per month minus repairs. Let me give you an example. Let's say the house is rented for $500 per month. $500 per month. Well, $500 is 2% of $25,000. In other words, if you take $25,000 times 0.02, that's going to give you $500 a month, right? Now, let's say the property needs $5,000 in work. It's got a tenant in it, but it needs maybe $5,000 in work. So you take that $25,000 and you subtract $5,000, right? You subtract $5,000, and then boom, there's your number. $20,000 is about what you can pay for it. Because I know if I'm selling a house that's rented out for $500 a month, I could probably sell that house for $29,900, 34.9,
Right.
maybe even 39.9.
Depending on the
right?
condition, yeah.
Right. Now, another thing you can do is do that times 0.15 instead of 0.2. Okay. Now that's going to give you a little higher value that you can pay for the property. I like to use 2%. There's some areas like a good area would be probably Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, yeah, is that where that is?
I think so.
Okay.
In Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis.
In Indiana.
Yeah. Okay. I'm geographically challenged. Okay.
And he's asking me.
Yeah. So anyway, so Indianapolis or Birmingham, Alabama, or some of those good cash flow markets, St. Louis, you would use 2% minus repairs minus what you want to make as a wholesaler if you're wholesaling the property.
You got to
right?
put your profit in. Sometimes people forget that.
They do.
I mean,
They do.
honestly, we have students that, you know, are like, hey, run this deal, and this is what I think. Okay, well, where's your money?
Where's your profit? How are you going to make money? Right?
It happens.
It's funny. I tell that to people on the phone. You know, they say, well, my house is worth 80, so I'll take 78. Well, let me ask you a question. If I buy your house and put it back on the market, how am I going to make any money?
Right.
We're going to make $2,000. Yeah, but come on. I'm going to have to do something.
Come on.
And I'm going to list it with a realtor. They're going to take 6%.
And I'm going to have holding costs, right? Because it's more than likely not going to sell super quick.
I'm going to have a realtor commission, closing cost, got to do work, all that good stuff. Anyway, look, Carolyn is in Indianapolis. That's what the locals say is Indy, right?
I'm not a local.
Maybe she'll tell us. So anyway, so that's the second way to do it. Okay, that's the second way to do it. Is you got wholesale, you got the wholesale rental, right? You got the wholesale rental. Now, you got the wholesale rental, and then you've got the wholesale seller financing type deal. Okay, in other words, you're going to seller finance this deal. Now, this is one thing that I teach my students, and I shouldn't say a lot of it, but wholetailing. So with the rental properties, another way to analyze this deal is if you're going to get seller financing, okay, but you've got to structure your financing low enough to where there's cash flow. For example, let's say instead of analyzing this deal for a cash sale, I tell my seller, look, I can pay your price if you finance it for me, but you've got to give me 100% owner financing. And 100% is not the interest rate. That means no money down. Okay, right?
No money down. That's right.
So somebody said
that came up yesterday, I think, when you were on the phone.
You know, there was at some point I said 100% financing because I was telling somebody else I would finance it. Kenny Culver's in the house. What's up, buddy? Congratulations. He's got a new baby at home.
I just got Miles' registration, Terry.
How, Kenny, how are you sleeping at night these days?
With the baby.
I know, right?
The baby.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, anyway, so with seller financing, I negotiate seller financing with my sellers. I say, I can give you your price if you give me terms.
Yeah.
You know, no money down. I mean, I don't even talk about the money down. I just say, well, how much do you want? And I start figuring it out on my financial computer or calculator, right? So, and they say, what about the down payment? I say, well, look, if I'm giving you your price, you're going to make it up in interest, right? So anyway.
Half the time, they don't even mention the down payment.
They don't.
Yesterday it came
But
up,
if they do, I say, look, that's how I'm going to get paid. You're going to sell or finance it to me. I'm going to turn around and find somebody else that's going to buy it from me, and they're going to give a down payment. Hey, they're a better credit risk than I am. I'm not giving you anything down. They are, right?
An hour a night.
An hour a night. Kitty, man.
And so it begins.
Better you than me, buddy. But you got a beautiful baby. That's awesome. So anyway, so you want to structure your terms low enough with the seller financing deals so you can make sure and get enough cash flow. For example, if that house will rent out for $500 a month, if that property will rent out for $500 a month, you got to keep their payment at least around $300, right? Because you got taxes and insurance. That's probably another $50 per month each. So now you're up to $400, and you'll get $100 per month cash flow. It's not a lot, but it's owner financing. There's no bank qualifying or anything like that. Now, here's the next way, okay? The next way to do the deal is to get seller financing, but you can structure the payments a little higher so somebody can live in it. In other words, let's say your seller says, okay, I'll sell it to you 100% financing, no money down, but I'm not going to take a $300 payment. I want a $500 payment. Well, now you can't sell that deal to a landlord. You've got to sell it to somebody that's going to live in it, right? Sell it to somebody that's going to live in it, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
It makes sense to me.
That's good. That's good. So the other way to do it, okay?
No, one thing I will say, like Terry, you have them there, because if they set the price, then we set the terms. Yes and no. You still have to make sure that the price they're trying to set is in line with what the market's gonna call for. You can't just accept their price if it's unrealistic or unreasonable, and then you set the terms, because you're not going to be able to sell it still.
Right.
The price that they set still has to be in line with the market. Just want to throw that out there.
Exactly. And you got to make sure you keep to that.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last way, we've got wholesale, we've got wholetail, we've got a rental property, right?
Right.
Rental property. And then we've got seller finance and rental, seller finance and owner occ, and then we've got subject to. Now, I don't like sub two deals.
I don't like sub two deals.
I don't do sub two deals, but they come up. Let me tell you what a sub two deal is. A few people may not know.
And people can make money on them, but
you can make a lot of money on a sub two deal. I personally don't want to be tied to a seller or a buyer the rest of my life, okay, or the rest of the life of the mortgage anyway. So what a sub two deal is, you got somebody that has a mortgage and they're upside down. Maybe they owe what the property is worth, but you can't pay that unless you can take over their loan. Now, I say take over, you're buying the property subject to the existing mortgage. In other words, their mortgage is going to remain in place on the property that they're going to deed to you. It's still in their name and they're still liable for it, but you have agreed to make the payments. Right? So then what you do is you turn around and find somebody else that wants to live in that property. They're going to give you a down payment, and then they're going to make the seller's payments for them. I don't like those kind of deals. Anything can go wrong. The buyer can quit paying, and then the seller's going to come back to you.
You're on the hook. To take care of your seller, you're on the hook for those payments.
Now, even if you're not on the hook for the payments, even if you've got all kind of disclosures and paperwork and it's between them and you're just putting the two of them together, even though all that, the reality is they're going to come back to you.
Right.
Okay. I don't like that. But here's what I do. If I get a sub two deal, I've got about 2 people in my area, in my market, that do sub two deals. Here's what I do. I say, look, I'll send you all my sub two leads, all of them. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. If you do the deal, when you sell it, give me half the down payment. Right? If you buy a property and then you turn around and sell it and you get $10,000 down, send me 5.
Fair enough, right?
Yeah, there you go. You can negotiate whatever you want to. If you want 20%, 25%, 50%, a flat $1,000, whatever it is you want, right? Whatever it is you want. Eugene, very informative. Good. Thank you. Appreciate you. Are you coming this weekend?
Yeah, you think this is good.
I know, right?
Wait for 3
700
days.
plus slides. And you can get all the slides as well, right? There's a $97 seat reservation. So that's the 6 different ways that you can analyze a deal. So there's no reason in the world, right? There's no reason in the world that you can't put some kind of a deal together or at least present for some kind of a deal. I try to remember all this stuff too. I'm on the phone every day. Buying deals, right? And I've even got, here's a Post-it note on my thing. I got to remember to get their email and to ask for seller financing on every single one of them. Sometimes I forget, so I put it on my monitor right there so I don't forget, right? So there you do. Can't you land contract a sub two deal and wrap the mortgage? Yes, you can. But you know what, Terry? That's a whole nother subject. So you can do a wrap. You can do a wrap with seller financing if you want to stay in the deal. You can do a wrap with sub two if you want to stay in the deal. With the sub two, it's going to get even a little more tricky because you're stuck in the middle of that deal. So you are married to that seller and buyer forever and ever. Amen. Right? Because they're paying you and then you are paying the seller. So it might even be safer if you're confident and comfortable that you are going to make the payments regardless.
Right.
So you could wrap it. You could wrap seller financing as well if you wanted to do that. Right?
Y'all, there's a ton of different ways that you can do real estate. I mean, a ton of different ways. We talk so much about the ways that we do real estate here. It's what works for us. It's what gets us the best return for the time investment that we want to put in. There's different things, just like Terry was bringing up. There's a lot of different ways that you can do real estate. There's a lot of pitfalls that can come with those different ways to do real estate. So make sure that you get educated. Our 3-day, these brag shows are, I think, an awesome way for you guys to get education.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg for the depth of education and information that you could get into. Our 3-day events are very informative. Our mentoring program, there's just such deeper levels that you can get into depending on which way you want to take your real estate investing. But be sure to get educated on for yourself. You don't always have to take the word of somebody else. Just do the research and put the time in to make sure that you're aligning yourself with a company or with somebody that you know, like, and trust that can help you avoid some of the pitfalls. A lot of the times that we're on here, we tell you guys, ask us how we know. It's because we failed, right? But you fail forward. And if you haven't registered for the 3-day event, there will be more information like what Larry covered today included in the 3-day in the 3-day slides. With that event, he goes into and answers all types of questions, just like Terry brought up, for different areas of real estate. If you are just getting started, it can be overwhelming, but get the slides, right? So you have a reference point to go back to. And you know that you can reach back out to our company for deeper education and things like that with our course material and stuff.
Guys, I learned something every single day, and I've been doing this for 30 plus years. Let me tell you what happened today, just today, okay? We sent a mobile notary out to a lady's house to sign the contract. It's the second time I've sent a mobile notary out. I tried to buy it about 6 months ago for 15, and she decided she wasn't going to sell it for that. Then I recently renegotiated it to 20. She wanted 25. I renegotiated it to 20. Now, the last house we bought in that area, very similar to this house, 2-bedroom, 2 or 3 bedroom brick house in the same area, we bought it for 15 and sold it for $49.9 wholesale. Okay, that was a wholesale deal. So this one we're buying for 20, and I have no doubt we can wholesale it for $49.9.
Yep.
So anyway, the mobile notary goes out there, and the lady refuses to sign the contract. Now, when I send a mobile notary out, they have specific instructions. Call me before you leave the house.
Do not leave without it signed.
Do not leave without it signed. Call me. My number's in there. I've got a tracking number, and it'll pop up and say mobile notary. I know I've got a notary in a house, and they're having a problem. But this notary never called me, okay? So they're fired.
They were.
Yeah. Well, they're not doing any more of our deals, right?
They're fired from us, right?
Exactly. So I finally got the seller on the phone today. This happened Monday. I got the seller on the phone today. And she said, Larry, I told you I had to have $20,000 for my property. And your paperwork said balance due at closing $19,900. I said, Juanita, that's because there's a $100 deposit. She said, then don't say that deposit goes to me. It says it's to be held in escrow by buyer's attorney. I said, yeah, but it goes to you. She said, it don't say that. She said, it says I'm going to get $19,900 at closing. I said, so what you're telling me is the only reason you didn't sign because it was $100 short. She said, yeah. I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to rewrite it and send you another one. I said, I'm not paying a mobile notary to come out again because it costs me $100 every time.
And they went out twice
in the last 6 months. So I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to mail you another contract. It says I'm buying your house for $20,001. There's a $1 deposit, and the balance due at closing will say $20,000. I said, is that what you want? She said, yes. I said, okay, I'll send that out. So now instead of a $100 deposit, she has a $1 deposit, right?
But
now,
it's what it took to make her happy, to make her understand the contract. And that's what you have to look at is if your seller is confused on what the contract says, then figure out, like Larry did, a way to reword it to accomplish what their objection was. It worked out for both of us.
That's exactly right. Daryl says, can't pull the trigger. I'm not really sure why you can't pull the trigger. If you've got the education, you got the information, you know what to do, you just got to do it. You got to take action. You've got to take action. Now, right now, you've got to go direct to seller. Direct mail, bandit signs, bird dogs, Facebook ads, whatever it is, okay? You got to go direct to seller. And that's where all of our leads are coming from right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to do that. So Daryl, if you're not getting any deals, chances are you're not getting any leads. You've got to generate some leads, right?
Well, I don't know if it's that or if it's just the actual action
Pulling up the trigger. He says can't pull the trigger.
Behind doing
now
that.
What?
Yeah. Then it sounds like you need a mentor. It sounds like you need somebody that's going to reassure you on your numbers. And we've got a mentoring program for that where Larry walks through deals with people in our mentoring program. We'll partner with them on deals if we need to as well.
Our
That's what the
portion actually
program
goes
is around.
to charity.
Right.
Our portion
Yeah,
of the partnership, which is about 25%, goes to charity. Okay. And
but it's for people that need that extra line of they're just not sure yet. They haven't been able to do it yet. It's that accountability and that reassurance factor behind it. So maybe that's an option for you.
So Daryl, go to LarryGoins.com/apply and we'll get on the phone.
Yeah.
And we'll help you.
There you go, Ron. That's what I said.
Ron.
Late to the party, Ron.
Call Ron. Ron will help you. Ron is right down the hall, right?
LarryGoins.com/apply. We'll get you started. But yep, the
And
guys
Ron will
are right
call
down
you.
the hall.
Ron can call you literally in just a few minutes as soon as you apply.
Yep.
Right?
And then also, yeah, Terry, you're right. Everybody, just what I was speaking on earlier, everybody's not at the same level of investing. And you'll see that at our events. We have people that are just beginning, that have never done a deal before. We also have people that have a portfolio of properties already. But there's something for everybody there. Now, Larry does have to kind of get everybody on more or less at even scale or even playing field, right, with understanding some stuff initially at the beginning part of the event, but then there's some deep stuff that happens too that's over the beginners' heads, but that the other people need. So in an event environment like that, in an atmosphere like that, it's just what he has to do. If you guys are looking for something more tailored specifically to where you are with investing, our mentoring program is going to be the best option, hands down.
There you go. There you go. Darren, working with the seller on what?
We got Michelle here. She's wanting to know if we do multifamily using seller finance.
You know what? You can do multifamily using seller finance. I've sold like mobile home parks and stuff like that with seller financing. But typically, depending on the number of units, okay? For example, you're not going to find somebody that has a 50 unit or 150 unit complex that's typically going to do owner financing, okay? They're at the point, they're doing 1031s, they're moving into a bigger project or something like that. Right? But 4 units, 5 units, 10 units, something like that, yes, you can get seller financing because you find small landlords that are just tired of being a landlord, but they love the cash flow. So yes, you can do, Michelle, you can get seller financing on small multifamily properties. Occasionally you can get it on larger deals.
It just depends.
For the most part, you're going to raise some equity capital for that.
Right.
Okay. So,
now,
Darren, Larry, working with a seller on a luxury house. Zillow said 1.175 million. Asking 750, 4 to 5 bedroom, 3-car garage. Heard it's a tear down, but pics look good. It needs over 100,000 in repairs. Is this a deal or not? On the surface, I would say no.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say we need more information to really dig into it. This is not really how properties are submitted to us for analyzation at all.
Here's what you need to know. You need to know the real ARV.
Right.
After repaired value. You said Zillow said.
We don't ever trust that.
The Zestimate means zilch. Ignore the Zestimate.
We don't
even look at it.
Trust that.
If one of my guys brings me the Zestimate, I'm like, whoa, no, I don't even want to hear it. I don't even look at it.
Right.
The Zestimate means nothing. Here's the other thing. Luxury homes, you don't need to be at ARV times 0.7 on a luxury home.
Mm-mm.
You need to be at ARV times 0.5 on a luxury home. Okay? I know that sounds low, but on this house right here, 1.175 million, you could get 2 appraisals. One might say 1.5 million. The other one might say 1 million. That's a huge spread, right? Plus, as the market turns down, and it will turn down, okay?
It's already started.
It started
honestly.
to slow. The first part of the market that starts slowing down is luxury homes, okay? And the way they do that, they don't start with the price going down. They start with the days on the market getting longer, okay? Then the price starts going down, all right? So forget the Zestimate. You know, if you want to really know what it's worth, talk to several luxury home realtors that have sold, not listed, but sold multiple luxury homes in the same area and talk to them, okay? If somebody said it was a tear down, you need to listen. Why is it? Is it asbestos? Is it mold? Is there something else going on you don't know about?
Structural, yeah,
So you got to be
foundation
very
issues.
careful. And I don't know, Darren, what your strategy is, but if your strategy is wholesaling, there's a lot more people running around with $50,000 than there are people running around with $1 million. Okay,
Or 750,000.
or 750. I love the small properties. A lot of our deals, we'll buy them for 10, sell them for 20 or 30. We buy them for 15, sell them for 30 or 40. One of the closings I think I mentioned earlier, we bought this week for, what do we pay? 35. We sold it for 65. We made 30 grand, right? We made almost as much as our seller made.
And didn't have to touch it.
Now, another one we bought for 3 and sold it for 15, right? I made 4 times what my seller made. Hope he's not watching. I made 4 times what my seller made.
Here's the thing though, with your sellers, as long as you fulfill their need, they really should not care what you make. And I think that we do a good job up front of making sure that we find the objection, not the objection, but the motivation for their sale, and we meet them where they need to be, right? That's the whole reason we get the contract in the first place. And when we have to renegotiate, it's for valid reasons. And it's just like with that seller, we were able to fulfill the need that he had, even with our buy at 3,000.
Well, I renegotiated it from 12 down to 3. Okay, and then we sold it for 15. That's what we ended up selling it for, was 15. And it was a good deal for my buyer. It was already rented out. It had a tenant in it paying close to $300 a month.
Yep, $275.
There you go. But the guy was out of town, lived over at the coast about 5 hours away.
I'd had it for years.
He didn't care.
Couldn't keep a check on it. Yeah.
He was done, right? So, guys, I hope you got a lot out of this. I hope that you really enjoyed it. If you want to work with us with our partner program, it's not education, it's application. We're going to give you all our education if you work with us on the partner program.
Right.
We just give you all the education, and then we work on actually doing deals. Are you using assignment contracts for your wholesale deals? Yes and no.
Most of the time.
It depends.
If we can.
If we can, we do. For example, if you're buying a house for $3 grand and you're selling it for more than 4 times what you paid for it, you don't assign that contract.
You're going to double close.
You're going to double close.
Another example, if you have a contract and your seller has multiple siblings, there's 7 or 8 people that are going to have to sign on the sale, then you're going to double close. You can't ask us how we know, right? You can't assign stuff like that.
Because one of them will refuse to sign.
Out of 8, out of 7, out of 3, you could have the potential for a problem of somebody not being
always has to do a double close.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we have a brag episode about that, I believe, assignment versus double close. It's a few episodes back, maybe like 2 months back, but I know that we've talked about that. So you could go back and watch that whole episode on that as well.
There you go. That's good. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. I hope you got a lot out of this. Kind of turned into some Q&A, which I love that. I love that. At our events, we call it Stump Larry, right? Come on, stump me. That's all you got? Yeah, I've been doing this a while.
It's happened twice.
Yeah.
One of them was me.
One of them was her. Yeah. And it was really an attorney question.
Sure. He's going to play it however he can to make sure. Anyway, if you guys, the ones that are coming to the event this weekend, that's great. We'll see you on Friday morning, bright and early for registration at 8 o'clock. If you're not, you need to try to get a seat. If you can't, then hopefully we'll see you at a future one. Although this is the last one for this year.
It is?
Yep.
Wow.
That's it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Thanks.